update y'all with the best jump shots in the game, with the best bases, the best releases, and even the best dribble pull-up fades in NBA 2K25. No matter if you're on a build with a low three-pointer or a high three-pointer, there's a base, a release, or even a jump shot in today's video to help you find a jump shot that fits your play style or your liking. And you definitely would like to pay attention to all the information I'm giving you, no matter if you're on a small guard like 6'1", 6'2", a big build like a 6'6" to 6'8", or even on a 6'10" to 7 footer. There's something in here to help you become a better shooter. And I know you guys are NBA fans just like me, and with the NBA season back, the best place to watch NBA games live is on Playback. You get to watch NBA games live with me as we end up doing trivia, we do giveaways, and we also have some debates in the chat. So if you want to watch NBA games live with me, make sure you download Playback and join my room so you don't miss out. With all the different shooting changes, from rhythm shooting to regular shooting, from being able to shoot open now on NBA 2K after the patch, you still need to have your hotspots on this game. And hotspots are very easy to get on NBA 2K25, and I'm going to teach you how you can end up getting your hotspots in a matter of less than 2 hours wherever you want, from the three-point line to mid-range or even around the paint. The best place to end up going is in the My Career. Put your game on rookie. I recommend you to end up putting shooting boost on, especially while you're doing this, and end up putting your quarter lengths between 6 to 8 minutes. I usually do 7 minutes and play about 4 games or 5 games in a matter of those 2 hours, but you want to make sure you shoot at least over 65 to 70% in each spot so you can end up getting your hot zone. It's going to take a bit more if you have a cold spot, but this year it's definitely needed to have a hot spot on this game. Now that I showed you how to end up getting your hot spots, I'm gonna end up showing you the best dribble pull-ups in NBA 2K25 and the most used dribble pull-ups so far. But for anybody that's a starter for Kobe Bryant dribble pull-up, if you used it in NBA 2K24, one of the best dribble pull-ups in the game, and still is. Now if you're someone that hit starter for, I definitely recommend you to try Kobe and Devin Booker. Devin Booker and Kobe is on the same one when it comes to the fade. It's very consistent, and the shot contest on this game, it is going to be very hard to end up trying to contest one of these actual dribble pull-ups. But if you're not starter for and you need a good dribble pull-up, you can use Pro Dribble Pull-Up. It's good on both sides, from fading to the left and fading to the right. Creates a lot of space as well. But another one is Normal 2, especially for someone that's on a bigger build like the 6'10s, the 7 footers. Normal 2 dribble pull-up creates a lot of space as well, and it's a good on the left and the right. You just got to get the timing down with that one. Pro 2, this is my favorite. I use Pro 2 still. I still see some people use Pro 2. Pro 2 is a go-to for me because it's somewhat the same as NBA 2K24, but with the dribble pull-ups for bigger builds and you want to use something different, Kevin Durant has a great dribble pull-up. It's a little bit different. In one of his animations, he have a super elevated fade, mostly to the actual ball hand, but if you're on a bigger build and you want to end up having a fade and you don't like KD fade, you can use Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk Nowitzki actual dribble pull-up is not bad. It's the same as it was in 2K24, but if you want to use Trae Young is still good, but it is better options than Trae Young. But a lot of people still like using Trae Young on NBA 2K25. And now that I showed you some of the best dribble pull-ups in NBA 2K25, I'm gonna show you some of the best bases in NBA 2K25 for builds that's 5'9" all the way to 6'4". For all my small guards, we're gonna start with y'all. We got the Cam Thomas base, literally the base you use if you don't have starter 4. If you can't unlock Patty Mills or KPJ, Kevin Porter Jr., this is the jump shot base you're gonna use. But for my starter 4s and you have Patty Mills, put that Patrick Mills on. Still as good as same like 2K23. You definitely can use this as a go-to. And then you got KPJ, Kevin Porter Jr. The jump shot from 2K23 and they killed off in 2K24 is now back, and a lot of people are messing with the KPJ base, but a jump shot they keep switching year after year. Stephen Curry base. Stephen Curry base is still good. You just gotta make sure you find some releases and put it on a good speed that actually is not too fast for you. Then we got Allen Iverson, the T-Mac of guards. Now if you want T-Mac base on a guard, you use Allen Iverson base. Now we have Kyrie Irving. This is a slept on one. It's a little bit underrated, but a lot of people are kind of hip. But Kyrie Irving is a good base to use. Kyle Lowry, I put y'all boys on the Kyle Lowry in the last video. Kyle Lowry, put that on your jump shot, especially if you got a low three-point rating. Anything under like an 87 or 85 three-pointer, use Kyle Lowry. The same thing with the Jacoby Walter. Now, if you're someone that likes JT Thor from 2K24, this is JT Thor for guards. In NBA 2K25, they did that with a lot of jump shots that was for bigger builds. They end up making them for the smaller builds now. Then you got Ja Morant. Ja Morant base this year is chicken just like last year. It's very consistent. It's very similar to the Kyle Lowry base. You definitely can knock down some shots, especially for my people with low three-point ratings. And then we got Kira Lewis Jr. It's a good base for people that do not have high three-point ratings or high mid-range ratings to be able to unlock all those actual jump shot bases and releases. And then you got John Stockton. Now, John Stockton, I wasn't wasn't messing with it at first, but a lot of my subscribers in the comment section, they've been saying they actually enjoy the John Stockton base. You just gotta mess around with the speed and find the actual preference that you like. But a lot of people have been messing with John Stockton on normal or John Stockton on just quick. Now, when it comes to the best releases in NBA 2K25, here we're gonna start with the Stephen Curry release, where I would say you will use this as a release 1 or 2, preferably I would say release 2. And then we got Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is one of those jump shot releases that you have to use at the 2. It got the actual best visual cue to me, but a lot of other guards, they had like Darius Garland. Darius Garland is the one that's going to use most of the time at the 2. Darius Garland is up there as one of the most used releases. Then you got Bruce Brown. Now, if you want to be a little bit different, Bruce Brown is one of those ones that actually is good visual cues as well. Then you got Nah'Shon Hyland, a release I definitely tell you use as your second release than your first release. Using Nah'Shon Hyland as a second release is a good option to use. And you know the jump shot release, the OG jump shot, the Oscar Robertson at the 1 or the 2, and you can't go wrong. A lot of people might not like Oscar Robertson, but having Oscar Robertson at the 1, it speeds up your jump shot, but the timing at the second one, it's just not a good visual cue, but a lot of people like it. Then you got Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard, I recommend at jump shot number 2 for release 2. Then you got the Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton could be at the 1 or it could be at the 2 when it comes to your releases, but I know a lot of guards like Colin Sexton at the 2 for the release. Same thing with Darius Garland. Then you got Trae Young. I recommend you to use Trae Young as your secondary release. Do not use Trae Young as a primary release because it is very flat jump shot for Trae Young, and it's going to be hard to somewhat time it. Then you got Mike Wang, Baluba as a release. You can use Mike Wang or Baluba at the 1 or 2, but I see a lot of people liking Mike Wang actual jump shot at the 2 when it comes to actually shooting on NBA 2K25. Now that I end up giving you some of the best bases or releases, now I'm gonna end up giving you the best jump shots when it comes to the small guards. Lately, I told y'all boys, I've been rocking out with the Cam Thomas, Oscar Robertson, Stephen Curry, max speed, 40-60, and then with my release, it's somewhat close to the release right before you get to the R. And this is a jump shot I've been knocking down shots, especially on my small guard, that I've been having a lot of fun using so far. Because I think the first time I showed you this jump shot, it was on my Anthony Edwards build, and I was going crazy in that video. If y'all haven't seen my first Anthony Edwards build video in the rec, I was going crazy. Dropped the 50 ball and all with this jump shot right here. We was knocking down fade, hand catching shoots off the dribbles. We was going crazy with this jump shot base right here. So I definitely recommend you this, and when it comes to some of the best bases and jump shots that you can use in NBA 2K25. And since we got some starter 4 jump shots, you know, I end up having to put out the KPJ base with the Oscar Robertson with Trae Young. I've been messing around with Trae Young as a secondary release. I would definitely recommend you to end up trying this, but for the actual timing when it comes to set point push and things like that, I do recommend you to try this somewhat on push or slightly past push, because KPJ is like a weird timing type of jump shot, same as 2K23 all over again. But once you find the timing, it's going to be green almost every single time. Even when it comes to being off the dribble or even catch and shoot, you're going to be able to knock down shots with this KPJ jump shot, even from Limitless. Now with this next one is Patty Mills. Now a lot of you guys love Patty Mills from 2K24, but we're using Patty Mills on push, on quick 60-40 blend, Oscar Robertson, Damian Lillard. Now the Damian Lillard, I've been messing around with the Damian Lillard with the Patty Mills, and it actually grew on me instead of me using like a Curry release or even using Luka. Like I thought those 2 releases would be good at the 2 when it comes to Patty Mills, but I'm messing with the Damian Lillard when it comes to knocking down shots off the dribble. Even when I get contested sometimes, that Patty Mills and then using that Damian Lillard secondary release, you won't be good. Like once you get the timing down, you will be a-okay, bro. And even for guards that got low 3-point ranges, you can end up swapping out these or not starter 4, swapping this out for Kyle Lowry, Ja Morant. It's a lot of good bases that you can swap these out for, and you can get a good feel. So for my builds that's 6'5" all the way to 6'9", this is the best bases in NBA 2K25 that you can use, which being one of the newly added to the spreadsheet, Carmelo Anthony. Now a lot of you guys been telling me about Carmelo. I was like, okay, I'm kind of skeptical, but Carmelo is actually a good consistent base that you can use. I prefer it more on the catch and shoot, but hey, even if you ISO, it might be decent. But Malcolm Brogdon from 2K23, y'all know I preach Malcolm Brogdon, but they changed how this base is this year. It's more up and down. It's not like you levitate like how you used to last year, but it's still a good base to use. Then we got Kobe Bryant base. Now Kobe Bryant base, I prefer you to be more of a catch and shooter. I prefer like you trying to catch and shoot with this jump shot. Trying to shoot with this jump shot off the dribble is a little bit hard to do. Then you got Jarrett Culver, one of the most used bases in NBA 2K25 because it represents the T-Mac base, very similar, but one of the most used jump shot bases that you would use from lockdowns, poppers, even people that ISO, they still use Jared Cover. So one of the top rated jump shot bases that you can use for 6'5" all the way to 6'9" on NBA 2K25. And the jump shot I've been putting y'all on is that Gordon Hayward base. It was good in 2K24 and it's still good now. All you gotta do is find you some releases that you like. It's very fast. I would say Cover and Gordon Hayward are my maybe favorite two bases to use, especially if you're on a lockdown or a popper, things like that. But when it comes to actually shooting, I would say Clyde Drexler is one that's slept on. Now his base is a good up and down base, but I would say it's more catch and shoot, but you could possibly pull it off when it comes to ISOing on this game, especially with that nasty snatchback. Now if you're someone that likes Patty Mills jump shot, I do recommend you use Justin Holiday's jump shot on a 6'5" all the way to 6'9". Now if you can get Justin Holiday jump shot, try it out. It's similar to Patty Mills, just for bigger build. And if you're someone that used Patty Mills before, make sure you try this on a bigger build. Let me know if it actually feels like Patty Mills to you, but it feels like Patty Mills to me. Now Jordan Nwora, this is a base that's very fast. I definitely recommend you use release when it comes to the shot timing. But yeah, Jordan Nwora is a good up and down base, even off the catch and shoot. Then you got J.R. Smith. Now if you're someone with a low 3-point rating and you got a high mid-range, use J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith is literally going to be the best bailout for you if you don't know how to time your jump shot like crazy. Like, try that J.R. Smith. But then we got Jalen Tyson. Now this base right here, a lot of people, you do not want to sleep on this Jalen Tyson base. I've been seeing a few people in Proving Grounds. I've been seeing people in Pro-Am. I've been seeing a lot of people start using the Jalen Tyson base. But for some of the best releases in NBA 2K25 for the 6'5s all the way to 6'9s, Kyle Korver at the 2, especially if you mix it with that Jared Cover base and Kyle Korver at the 2nd. I'm telling you, this is a nasty combo to have. Then you got Charles Bassey. Charles Bassey is a release 1 jump shot I recommend you use, but Sadiq Bey is the go-to. It's been a go-to for years for a lot of people at the 1 or the 2 when it comes to forming a jump shot. Now we got the Troy Brown Jr. Troy Brown Jr., you should not put this anywhere else but the 2nd release. Troy Brown Jr. anywhere else would be a problem. Put it at your 2nd release, no other place. Luka Doncic, I already told you, Luka Doncic has one of the best aesthetically looking pleasing when it comes to the visual cue. I would definitely put this at release 2. Then you got Tari Eason. Tari Eason is a one I usually would try at the 2. Do not put it at the 1. I'm gonna just say that. Do not put it at the 1. There's no point in trying that at the 1. Then you got the OG, Oscar Robertson. Literally, Oscar Robertson, everybody used it before. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm gonna tell you this now, Oscar Robertson at the 1 or 2, it's just your preference about how you wanna build your jump shot. Now, Klay Thompson, I would say you can try it at the 1, but preferably this is more of a 2nd release jump shot, release 2 jump shot if you want to end up using Klay Thompson. Then you got Mike Wang Baluba. Like I told you before, you can use Mike Wang release at the 1 or the 2, but I see a lot of people messing with the Mike Wang jump shot at the 2. Now for all my guys that's out there that's 6'5" and up and you want a good jump shot, we got the Jared Cover base, Oscar Robertson, Kyle Korver, 60-40 max speed. You can change the speed if you want to. Then we got it on push. Now you can end up messing around with a few things if you want to when it comes to the timing, but this is the one I just started using compared to using the one with Troy Brown Jr. I'm gonna show you that one. Troy Brown Jr. as a secondary versus Korver. I like the Korver release better than the Troy Brown, but it is very similar when it comes to shooting. And for the next jumper, we got J.R. Smith, Oscar Robertson, Luka Doncic on push, 15% Oscar Robertson, 85 on Luka Doncic. And this is one of those jump shots I told you, if you're more of a popper or a lockdown that you don't like using Cover, I definitely recommend you to use this. Or even you got a low 3-pointer and high mid-range, you can use this with rhythm shooting. You can use this with regular tap and square. From the top of the key, from the corner, it's knocked down. It shouldn't be no problem when it comes to using J.R. Smith. Even if you want to change the releases, you can. Then we got Jalen Tyson, Sadiq Bey, Oscar Robertson in the middle of a release and push somewhat more to the release side, max speed, and then you're going to end up having it 40-60, Sadiq Bey, and then you got Oscar Robertson. Now if you don't like Oscar Robertson, you got a lot of different options that you can choose from in this video, as I showed you the best release that you can use for big builds like this. Now you can use this as a catch and shoot jump shot. As of ISO, it is very fast. I'm gonna tell you that now. Off the dribble, it is a fast jump shot off the dribble, but it does have a weird hitch coming off the dribble compared to other jump shots. And earlier I told y'all boys I had rocked out with the Jared Cover, Oscar Robertson, Troy Brown Jr. This is the jump shot. A little bit past push, max speed, 70-30. Now this jump shot right here is what I've been using lately, especially for my lockdowns, even trying to ISO as well when coming off the dribble when I'm like a 6'8" or a 6'7". This jump shot has been the one that's been my go-to. But now for my big man that's 6'10" all the way to 7'3", these are the best bases you can use in NBA 2K25. Chris Bosh is up there, was one of the best bases, especially from 2K24. You still can use it. Andre Drummond, if you're someone that got a low 3-point rating, definitely recommend to use Andre Drummond. Jonathan Isaac. up there, top 3. I told y'all before, Jonathan Isaac might be the go-to base, especially for big builds to use. So I definitely recommend you to try to get your mid-range up on them builds so you can use Jonathan Isaac base. Then you got Lamar Odom, a slept-on base in NBA 2K25, but very consistent jump shot to use. Then we got David Robinson, one of my favorite bases, top 3 to me. A lot of people like David Robinson, they like the Jonathan Isaac. They're definitely up there as a top 3 base for big man builds. Then I just figured out to add this Jabari Smith Jr. Jabari Smith Jr. jump shot is very consistent. It's not too fast, it's not too slow. You can find out the actual cue once you find some releases. Then you got the PJ Washington and you got Dwayne Dedman. Now PJ Washington and Dwayne Dedman are somewhat similar, but I would prefer you to try Dwayne Dedman before PJ Washington just based on your 3-point rating. Now for the best releases that you can use, LaMarcus Aldridge. LaMarcus Aldridge at the 1. Now you could use LaMarcus Aldridge at the 2, but I prefer LaMarcus Aldridge at the 1 so you can have a higher arc on your jump shot. Then you got Marvin Bagley the 3rd. You can use it at the 1 or the 2, but preferably I would say try it at the 2. Charles Bassey, I told you Charles Bassey is more of a 1 release than a 2 release. I usually use it at the 1. Larry Bird, if you want an elevated jump shot, everybody knows you use Larry Bird as the 1 if you want an elevated jump shot, but if you want a decent release, you end up using it at the 2. Now when it comes to Nicholas Claxton, you want to use this at the 1 for a high arcing jump shot, but if you don't care for the high arcing jump shot, don't use Nicholas Claxton or Larry Bird. Then you got DeMarcus Cousins. Now DeMarcus Cousins is one that's very slept on and I've been messing with. It's actually smooth when it comes to using it at the 1. Then you got Tim Duncan. You can use Tim Duncan at the 1 or 2, but preferably at the 2 because he has an actually decent flick to his jump shot when it comes to knocking down shots, especially when you blend it right. If you can find the right blending, you can catch the flick. I'm telling you, this will be very hard to stop you when it comes to shooting. Then we got the Alex Len release. Alex Len can be used at the 1 or the 2, but sometimes I choose to use it at the 2. It's just a hit or miss just based on if you put it at a certain place. Then you got Mike Muscala. Mike Muscala can end up being at the 2 or the 1, but I do see Mike Muscala being used at the 1 when it comes to release 1s in every other jump shot. Now when it comes to Dirk Nowitzki, if you want that high arcing jump shot, use Dirk at the 1. But if you just want the release, use it at the 2, but you can find better releases than Dirk if you want to use it at the 2. For these last couple of releases are my go-tos that I like. Bobby Portis Jr. is literally one of the best releases I like to use. It's very slept on. I use it in 2K24. It's still good in 2K25. Then you got Julius Randle. Now Julius Randle could be a hit or miss. That's one thing I can say. It's based on you. It's based on your visual cue, based on your timing. Julius Randle can be a hit or miss. I like it. Some people might not like it, but most of the time, people say they enjoy using Julius Randle at their release number 2. And since I just showed y'all the best bases releases, let me get y'all some of the best jump shots you can use. And Jabari Smith Jr. just got it added to the chart and the spreadsheet. We're gonna use Jabari Smith Jr., Charles Bassey. Then you got Triple J at the secondary. But if you want a more low arcing jump shot, you can put Triple J at the 1, and you will end up having a little bit faster of a release when it comes to shooting with this jump shot. Now I'm on a 7-footer right now. This 7-footer only has a 75 3-pointer, and I'm still gonna knock down when it comes to rhythm shooting regular, or even coming off the dribble shooting on this build, because most 7-footers, they're going to end up taking shots off the catch and shoot, or they're going to end up still trying to ISO, but they're going to create a shot most of the time, something like this, even if they do a nice little speed boost, and it's going to be a knockdown almost every single time. But the next jump shot is the Jonathan Isaac, the Marcus Cousins, Jaren Jackson Jr. I told you that Triple J, I should have definitely added that to the release chart, but hey, keep that in mind. Triple J at a release 1 or 2, 40-60 blend, max speed on release. This is the Jonathan Isaac release. Now Jonathan Isaac is one of those ones that's very easy to time. Even if you want a rhythm shoot, I prefer you to rhythm shoot with Jonathan Isaac, because you got enough time to actually time it with flicking your right stick up and down to end up getting these times off with no problem. Now for my go-to, y'all all know that David Robinson, LaMarcus Aldridge, Julius Randle. On somewhat closer release, 75% on Julius Randle, 25 on LaMarcus, and we're not using the max speed. You could end up possibly putting this on normal, because this jump shot is fast. I'm gonna keep that in mind to y'all boys. This jump shot is fast, so if you don't really got good internet, I definitely wouldn't recommend you to try this jump shot, because it's a quick jump shot to end up getting, especially off the catch and shoot. But all the information I gave y'all boys, hopefully it helped y'all. Make sure y'all boys drop a like, make sure y'all subscribe, make sure you turn notifications if y'all haven't yet. But I'm gonna end up leaving y'all boys with 2 videos on the screen right now, man.